Okay, so welcome back to Series 2, Episode 12 of the Passionate Pioneer podcast with today's guest, BEA SALOMMA. Hi, BEA.
Hi, Ben, and hi, all of you.
Right. So, as you already know, I'm Beth. You might know me as the Passionate Pioneer. You might also know me by my motto. Let's repeat it together. Empowered women, empowered lives. And this podcast is your doorway to spiritual freedom, passion, clarity, and confidence. So let me introduce my guest today. So BEA is a personal brand style coach and fashion designer. She can help you translate your essence and personality into a distinctive personal brand style that will catapult your business to the next level. With BEA's help, you can learn how to embody your brand through your wardrobe choices and elevate your business game. You will exude confidence, power, and elegance in every aspect of your professional life. Is it time to level up your style? Let's find out.
I couldn't, introduce myself better. Thank you, Beth.
Yeah, it's really funny. Every time I introduce a guest and I read their bio, they're always like, oh, gosh, is that me?
It's nice to hear it,
Yes, it's nice, isn't it? When somebody else reads your bio, it's like, wow, I'm going to pat myself on the back. Is that really me? I've been doing that.
Especially
yes, that's me.
because especially it's the journey. It's like the place you are here. And today we are talking about the journey, like how we got here.
Yeah, exactly. So let me ask you then. So what initially sparked your passion to be this fashion consultant
person?
But yeah, to help. Tell us the story.
The story is really funny because I like to steal when I was a child.
Wow, really?
So
okay.
because of that, I was, when I was home alone, I was really climbing everywhere, and I loved particularly place of my mother, like her wardrobe. So I was dressing already in her, high heels, like being even a small girl. I was talking this, socks and making my breast, with the tight tops of my mother. So who was not doing this, right? I recognize actually that a lot of us. So this is how it started, that I started to love to create with clothes. But then I never believed I can do it in a way. I really wanted to have safety in my life. So I went more into numbers, into economy, into marketing, business, management. And this was somewhere there at the back of my head. Style, fashion was always there. I was just playing with fashion, but it was not my profession. Until the moment which I decided to change my life, and I started to pursue my passion, and really I went fully into it. Right. I went fully into fashion, and it starts with the decision. I really started to just do this, like fashion styling. I was learning also how to do it, but it was my main purpose. And my main focus and my main passion, actually, because you discover your passion on the way, actually. That I really love to get dressed next to the mirror. It doesn't mean that I will do something with that further on, right? We just recognize it step by step.
We're just experimenting, aren't you? You're just experimenting and you're just finding your way. It's a journey of discovery, right? And that's really lovely. Well, it's lovely, but it can also be, terrifying at times, when you're on a journey of discovery, because everything's the unknown and the unknown and the unknown. And when women are, stepping out of their comfort zone, the women that I speak to, clients and even friends, it can be really, it's the fear factor and the safety factor, because it feels unsafe when we don't know what's next.
I think most of the time it's terrifying, as you say.
Most of the time.
I think most of the time it's terrifying, but what you do with that, right?
Yeah, well, I think what happens is that we we level up, we go into the unknown, we get to that level, and then we coast for a while. I mean, in that comfort zone, and then we have to step up again or change something again. I mean, the only constant we have in life is change. Life is always evolving, always changing. You just have to look at nature to know, you know, to understand that it's a constant cycle of change and growth. Right.
This is the beauty of it, because we don't want to change. We don't want to have a change in our life. But from the perspective, you know, when I look at it, it's 11 years now when I made such a change. And I'm so happy with that. Even though it's not that all days it's sunny. It's not like every day it's amazing. It's still like, you know, when we will be talking later about details, how it happened, it's like all different things happen on the way, not plans, maybe good, maybe not, but just making a decision. I think this is where it starts.
Yeah.
Making a decision, actually, and committing to this. This is also huge, to commit.
Yeah, to commit to it, right? And that's
Yes.
it. That's
no matter what, you know.
To stay consistent, right? To stay consistent with the plan, because it's very easy to not do it, especially when you've got a lot of pressure from society, from friends, family, you know, that want to keep you safe. No, you don't want to go and do that. You want to, you know, stay here with us in the safe little bubble, right? It can be a real challenge. And that's why it's really good to get a community, which is, you know, what I try to build. In fact, I've built my community online. But eight years for me. You said it's been 11 years for you, right? And it's been, I think, yeah, it's 2016 I left the corporate world.
So it's good that you say community, because I really feel you need to have support in a way, because like our closest, you know, friends or family, they will always take care of us. They will always be afraid that something will happen. And like you say, they will always, not always and not everybody, so it's let's not generalize, but you know, they always want to keep, like, when it's okay, it's okay. So, you know, in my case, what was my push? When I was working for 12 years as advertising director, sales director in different media and different publishing houses, having a very comfortable life, you know.
Right.
Really, you don't change it when you don't need to, because it's just such a comfort. So it's very difficult to go out of your comfort zone. But the publishing market has changed, because we didn't read only anymore the printed magazines. We started to read online. We started to go more online. It started to be more popular. So it was like a really big switch on the market. So big switch in the companies. So it was, you know, restructure in the company I was working. So my position was just cancelled. It was not existing anymore. And I needed to face it. Or I could switch and go into online. Or somewhere else, like from, you know, it would be easy for me to change, because I was so many years on the publishing market. But then you ask yourself a question, and there is also a place where I met people supporting me. Like, you know, sometimes we think like by chance it happens, but it just happens what needs to happen. Like I did some self-development workshops, and I met a coach, and then he really helped me to just be there with myself for 3 months and make a decision. What do I really want to do in life? And this is where I acknowledged my passion. And I could really see the moment that I really noticed that actually I really want to do fashion. And I would never say I will do, because I always thought you never earn money on creativity. It's just for fun. It's just for yourself. It's just, you know, clothes are funny, but can I really do something with that? And we made an agreement that 3 months, I'm not accepting any offers, and I'm not looking for a job. I'm just going deep into myself and seeking answers.
Right.
Found the answer.
Yeah, and that is a good thing to do if you're stepping away. You know, give yourself some space, give yourself some time to, you know, to recalibrate. It's a big change, isn't it? You know, your body's got to feel safe with the next move. You've got to make a decision on what it is. When I left the corporate world, I knew I wanted to go into teaching, but I knew that teaching was just a stepping stone. I knew there was something more beyond that, but I just knew that that was the next right move for me. And that's, you know, following your instincts, listening to your own intuition. And that's something else that I teach and mentor.
I would say saying yes, right? Because following your guts and intuition, it's like saying yes often. And the thing is that sometimes you cannot plan every step. So I knew that I want to do something in fashion. So then I decided I even went bigger because I moved to another country.
Right.
So I changed my professional life. I changed my, you know, comfort of belonging and like being like in a new space. So I had this idea that I will study fashion for some time and I will work in the same time. And now I try to work in fashion, and this really worked.
Right.
Then all of a sudden, from being advertising director, I started to be a student at the age of 35.
Right.
I was not 20 anymore. And this was like a huge shift of my, you know, thinking and like adjusting. And also you need to manage in a new country. Like I moved to Netherlands where everybody speaks English, but they speak also Dutch. So when you go to the shop, you know, first time I spent 1 hour looking for basic things because I couldn't understand anything. So those all things, you know, make you like,
right.
You are really out of your comfort. And it doesn't need to be for everybody that it's so drastic. I think I do things like this in my life.
I do too, Maya. That's the thing for me, right? You know, it's like, you know, moving again. So when I was in the Caribbean, I didn't have to learn English because it's the language. But when I moved to Spain, I had to learn Spanish. Now I'm in Italy. I'm learning Italian, which is slightly more difficult than Spanish. But yeah, it's drastic, you know, moving countries, learning languages, you know, growing the business at the same time. It's, you know, it's a lot. It's drastic, isn't it? And I say it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be that drastic. That's just me. That was my choices, right?
Yeah, it can be even, you know, like in my case, it doesn't need to be that you just give yourself time without work. You can just do it once you are working. But I feel somewhere under my skin that sometimes we need to be pushed. Because it's really difficult for us to just step out of our comfort zone. So I think, truly speaking, I would never do it. I would never do it if this would not happen to me. And it's never nice to, you know, to lose your position, lose your job, even though I was safe financially, but you still want to, you know, you want to do things. But
yeah, that's what I realized.
Not this.
Yeah,
I would never move anywhere. I always wanted to move out. So I'm very grateful after all those years. So sometimes it shows like difficult things happening in our life just shows us that something better is waiting.
Yeah, but you also said when you started, you know, this journey and, you know, you moved away, you know, you found a coach, you know, you said, it's coincidence. No, it wasn't coincidence, right? Nothing is coincidence. Everything is put in your path when you're on the right path.
Yes.
You know, the right people come to you. When you're on the wrong path, you keep meeting dead ends. And if you keep banging your head against a brick wall, it's not the right path for you. And it's a very easy way to, it's not that easy, but, you know, it's an easy way to think about it. You know, if ever you keep meeting with, you know, resistance, you know, then obviously, you know, try something different because that's not the way. Normally, when it's the way that you should go, it's easier. It's not easy, but it's easier. And you do get people and support, you know, you get those people that come to you, and that's synchronicity, right?
Yeah, and I love that because like for me, Amsterdam was really like, I treat Amsterdam as a person because I really got a lot of help. I found amazing apartment, even though everybody was telling me no way.
Right.
A lot of things happened, like really I've heard that it will not happen to me, and it did. So I'm really grateful. But I met people, I found places. So like, you know, few months of studying, I was already a part of a fashion contest, traveling to Frankfurt to semi-finals. You know, like I would never plan it. I would never plan it when I just followed my my gut. I followed my heart. Actually, I need to say my heart.
Yeah, you followed your heart. You followed what I call the breadcrumbs. the breadcrumbs of the universe, right? They just put little things in your way. They whisper in your ear. They, you know, you feel a pull with your heart, right? That's the way to go, right? So yeah, so you talked a little bit about your role models and your support network. And have you found that you've built that support network as you've been on this journey?
Yes, and I think it's crucial because you feel I feel two ways, that actually we need to also keep our dreams like very strongly, that we feel this desire not to let other people to take it away from us. So I think we need to really decide with whom we are sharing, who is supporting us, because we really need support in those days when it's difficult to make a decision. Like, who can really support you? In my case, it was like, you know, this coach I met, but also my best friend who was always pushing me to fashion, always. And I never listened. So some people around always telling, and I was laughing, like, you know, and then people started to ask me questions if I can help them with styling, with fashion. I was laughing again. I was helping, but, you know, as passion. So then I was like, yo, those people were already on my path telling me things, but we just need to be open to hear it.
Yeah. And also that, you know, there are people that, you know, won't be in your corner, and you've got to be willing to let some people go when you move forward, and you're moving, you know, you're following your own path, and because we like to people please, don't we? So when we start to please ourselves, you know, it's uncomfortable sometimes for the people around us. Some people, you know, I've been very lucky. I've got a really great group of friends, very close friends, just a few, but they're in my corner. They've always, you know, they said, well done, oh my God, go for it, Beth, go for it, you know. And then there's others that are like, you know, you know, that and you just let them go, right?
But don't you think, Beth, because I really feel when there is a moment that you start to really feel this desire very strongly in you, nobody will stop you. Nobody, they like whoever is against, they stop talking because there is no space for it anymore.
Yeah, but when you're on the beginning of your journey,
at the beginning, it's very important. Yeah,
it's very important when you're at the beginning of your journey, because you know, you're also listening to your own, you know, your own little, you know, conscience here, like Jiminy Cricket, right, from Pinocchio, you know, conscience telling.
But I think this never disappears, you know.
You know, it's just telling you, you know, oh, I'm not sure you want to do that. That's scary. You sure you want to do that? And then you know, you've got other people saying, you know, are you sure you want to do that? You know, and you've really got to, you know, just you've got to make a plan. And this is why, again, I use vision boards to bring the vision together. What do you want to do? Where do you see yourself? What does the future you look like? You know, is it because if you don't make a plan, if it stays in here and you don't get it out onto paper or something, right, some kind of board, you know, it just stays in here and it stays as a thought. You know, when you write it down, you can manifest it better. It becomes real and tangible, because you can, you know, you're writing it and you're like, oh yes, I want to do that. That's me, right?
But you know what helped me really when I started to make small steps. So vision board was one thing, but then like small steps, which doesn't hurt. It's not like that you change your life, but starting feeling this. So for me, it was just
small.
Travel, like really travel for 1 week to Amsterdam. And I was also thinking about Florence. So I went to Florence for 1 week. And it's not that I was moving out, you know, but I actually went there to feel, how do I feel? And this already, I knew that actually it's a first step to change my life. So when I was in Amsterdam, I really could feel that this is my vibe. Like I was sitting in the park, I thought, you know, even the weather is like 20, 25 degrees. I like it. It's not so hot. Also, like people running in the park, I love running. But this like seed was already planted, and it was not scary to go for 1 week. You know, like those small steps, which it's like doesn't require you to change all your life, but just to give yourself a feeling like how this would be for 1 day, for 2 days, and then you will never stop. Because
it's all about the feelings, isn't it? You know, think about when you want to buy a house, you know, and you walk into the house, you know immediately if you like it or you don't like it. You know if it's for you or it's not you. It's the feeling that you get, the immediate feeling. You got to trust that feeling, you know. And follow through with it. So what do you think was the biggest leap of faith that you took at the start of your journey?
I think, you know, that I just left my professional life for a moment. that I decided at the age of 35 to really pivot, like really change the country, but also my professional life and start from the scratch. Because that I love fashion doesn't mean that I could immediately start doing this. I really needed to rethink. I needed to recognize the market. Where is my place? What's happening there really? I decided to learn.
And learn. I was going to say study. You've
Learn.
got to study again. You've got to become the student, haven't you? Yeah.
Yeah. I think this was like a biggest switch that I think a biggest risk I took, truly speaking.
Yeah.
Was
Yeah.
to start in another country from the scratch. It's now I think it's huge.
It is. It is huge. It is huge. Yeah. You know, I do it without, I mean, you know, it takes time to plan and stuff, but it's not a big thing for me because I've been doing it for a long time. But you know, you made the switch at 35. I made this switch to leave the corporate world when I was 45, 10 years older. So, you know, the older you get, the harder, the more
really
difficult it becomes.
Yes, but this means that age really doesn't matter at the end.
No, it doesn't. But you can understand that when you're younger, there's less to lose. You've got more time. When you know, when you're in your 40s, it's like, oh my God, I want something more. I want a bigger purpose for myself. But I think I'm too old. That's what we tell ourselves, right? That we're too old to pursue that dream, pursue that passion, move to another country, go and travel, start a new career. You know, we tell ourselves that we're too old, and we're never too old to learn anything, right?
Yeah.
Change. So what about fears and doubts? So, and how did you overcome them, Bea?
So actually, there was one thing I've done, and I had a lot of fears, but I just put it as one fear to one basket. And I remember I did amazing weekend workshops, and I really remember when I was really working on exactly this case that I'm reimagining that I'm moving out and I changed my life. And then I remember what I did. There was a fear, and I just took this fear, and hand by hand, we were just walking together to the other side where my future was.
Oh gosh, I love that. I
And
love
this
that
was
visual
so powerful.
exercise. Yeah.
It was powerful because it was not about, you know, getting rid of fear, pretending that it's not there. It was always, and it was with me when I moved here. It's still with me after 11 years. Sometimes when I, you know, my life has changed so much because in the meantime I started to have a family. You know, so it was like now I'm 11 years after, but also 3 children more.
Oh wow! Okay.
Partner,
Okay.
so, yeah, so you know, and still doing business, and like it's. I want to say that when you follow your heart, everything goes onto place.
Everything falls into place. Yeah.
Yes.
Everything falls into place,
Yes.
right? When you follow your heart.
And when you don't, then all of a sudden you cannot fix some things. You think that, you know, I was not planning this, but it happened on the way.
Right. It's just life, isn't it?
Yeah.
Life. But it's good because you're probably a very good role model for your children because you have pursued your passions and followed your heart.
Yeah. They are too small yet to understand, but I think a few years and they will get it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So when you were making obviously sacrifices like giving up the career, how did you decide what was worth letting go of? Like you left your work and then you changed countries. So how did you decide what was, you know, what was important and what wasn't important and you could let it go?
I think for me it was very clear that when I don't do it, I will regret. So it was even more like not even what I let go, it's more what I want. I really focus I was really focusing forward. I knew that, you know, as I said, the seed was planted and I know for myself there was no way back. I would never be happy again. I would always have it somewhere because I made those first steps. And actually, 15 years before, I was planning to move to Australia and I decided not to because I got really good job offer. And it haunted me, you know, those years. So I really knew that because job, you can just have one and then the other, you know, but some decisions when you will not make and you really loved making them.
Yeah.
Like we sometimes hear those stories of old people, what they regret, you know? This is one of the things I didn't want to regret. I thought, I want to take this risk. So for me, it's more like, what do I want than what, it was just once desire was awakened, this was very clear.
Very good. Yeah. Going after what you want and focusing on what you want. Even though we have contrast sometimes. We have to experience what we don't want to know what we do want.
Yes, it's true.
Right?
Yeah.
So there's always that contrast. We always have that in life. You've always got a choice. For our listeners, you've always got a choice, right? You can stay where you are and stay unhappy, or you can change it. You can do something with your life and make your life happier and better and more fulfilling, right? More empowering. So do you have any tips or techniques to stay motivated and inspired in your work? I suppose, is it work? It's not really, it doesn't feel like work sometimes, right?
You know, for me to stay inspired, it's always having open mind. Because actually we are not sure sometimes that something will lead to something else. So I can tell you, when I started to study fashion in Amsterdam, I would never say that years after I would be teaching fashion in the same university. Never. So how I could came up, you know, it's like some things will never cross your mind even. So I think open mind and trusting. And I really believe that more and more of us are waking up to trust intuition again, but we lost it on the way because it was, you know, I was very intuitive until I started to be a mother. I was so tired that I was not thinking about intuition because I was just thinking, you know, I just want to sleep. But then it comes again. So I think like listening to your heart and intuition, like of course, easy said, but sometimes some things doesn't look like it guides us to our purpose or to our passion, but when we trust and we feel it, it does. So I would say
exactly. Yeah. And I like that. Yeah. So, you know, you have to, but how do you do that? How do you trust? Because it is all about trusting, trust, believe, receive, you know, trust, believe, receive. But you've got to learn to trust your own voice and your own intuition. And how do you do that and drown out the noise of the world? And, you know, sometimes that's when you need a coach, you need somebody to speak to. You know, what do you do when you're not sure about brand colors and, you know, designing, which is where you come in, right? And so it's always good to speak to somebody that can help you with that.
Yeah, I come where the style is, you know, so I really translate those colors and your branding into style. So this is also what I didn't know and I discovered. And if I would not do the first step, I would never know that I translate words into fashion. I translate words into style. And I didn't know that it's my superpower.
Right. So you found your superpower, right?
Yeah, so you discover really your talents, your superpowers, because you really have this desire, not without the reason. It's meant to be. So I really feel it's something which must happen to all of us, you know, at a certain point of our life. It doesn't matter really when it will happen, but just to let it be. Let's give it a chance to happen.
Right. So you talked about being a mom and obviously an entrepreneur, a business owner. So how do you prioritize self-care and maintaining your well-being while, you know, pursuing your dreams and listening to your intuition again, right?
Actually, it's a big thing because it's really, I need to remind myself every day. And luckily, we share also with my partner, like, you know, when I need to go and take care of myself, he can stay with kids. We also have a big network of nannies in Amsterdam. Right. So we've learned because we have also twins. Oh, so right. We need to learn to really get help, you know, and take care of yourself. So I really have always in my mind that I need to take care of myself before I take care of others, but it's not always working. So it's not like so like, you know, pink and blue and flowery. Sometimes it just doesn't work. I'm tired. Yeah. Sometimes I'm just tired, you know, and I'm in the evening sitting like, oh my God, nobody would believe me how my
But
life looks,
but sometimes that is self-care when you just lie on the sofa and you just watch a movie. Sometimes that's what you need. Sometimes you just need to just turn everything off and just zombie out to a movie and just turn off your working brain, because my brain is constantly, you know, I love to work and I love to listen to stories and I love to coach and teach and mentor, but sometimes my brain is just constantly right, and I'm sure yours is too. You know, it's the I don't know what, for want of a better word, it's what's the word I'm thinking of? I've lost the word.
But you know, it's like when you are saying this, I just imagine, like, sometimes I think let's take even today. Always Thursdays I have 1 hour my group program become iconic, and then after I just go and just want to take coffee before I have a meeting with another client, and then I see laundry.
Right.
And then I start doing this, but then I see something in the room of my son, and I start doing this, and I'm like, and 3 things on the way, and then I'm back, and I'm like, what I was doing. And then
you get distracted, right?
Yes, and luckily I know that I need to run to have another meeting, but then I'm dressed up already because it's easy for me to do. And you know, it's like every day, it's like I'm like, how I landed in this
Multitasking,
on the way to, you know, just taking coffee.
Women are amazing at multitasking, right?
But I'm not, and I admitted that I don't want to be multitasking.
Okay.
I really I was like big part of my life.
Right.
But I naturally am not. It really overwhelms me, and I don't want it. So I'm really trying now to focus like one thing, but it's, you see, like in the life of being a business entrepreneur and having family and running your own business, and also I do a lot of things when it comes to fashion. So it's commitment. It's about, like, we talk about commitment. I think when you commit to this, it will always work, but you just need to, for me, I know, no multitasking, I just need to focus one by another. This is what's working for me.
Very good. Excellent. So we're talking about that. We're talking about what you do and what you're learning. So what are some things that you're still learning about yourself and your goals?
For sure, I think this is new thing, having your own company, it's like a therapy. It's like really you face your limits, you face your fears. So I'm there where I wanted to be, but I want to go further, and I face different, like, you know, different fears now. Because every time you up level, everything, like, you know, it's every time something. So now I really have this huge mission to awaken women to stand in their own power, and I really feel style, it's really tangible element which can give you this already today. I always love, you have this tool next to your bed, it's your wardrobe. Because, like, Beth, you are talking about visions, about future us. I totally agree, because the future you can be already, you know, now when you dress as future you.
Exactly.
And you start to embody this, like, you know, colors, shapes, like, even if I would like to give one tip for you today, it's just to wear today what you really save for the occasion.
Yeah.
You know, just wear, give this present to you, and just wear it. Don't wait for the occasion. Wear it today.
Well, I agree. You know, I used to have like fancy sunglasses and special shoes, and I'm like, and I wouldn't wear them, and I'm like, they're just sitting in the wardrobe. I'm just like, every day is a special day. What the hell am I thinking, right? Let's just wear it, right?
Exactly.
Great. I love that. So, what do you think is the most unexpected benefit you've gained from pursuing this journey?
You know, it's as I mentioned, I have a family. I have a big family.
That's unexpected. Was that unexpected?
This is unexpected.
What? I'm pregnant again. How did that happen?
This is the side effect of, you know, following my heart fully. I followed my heart fully. So actually, we were quite fast with my partner, because in 3 years we got 3 children, because second pregnancy was twins.
Right.
Because my father is also a twin, so we were like, oh my God, in 3 years we have 3 kids.
Right.
So,
Double trouble.
Yeah, and again, I would not believe myself that making a decision at 35 will guide me to have 3 kids at 40.
Yeah.
So even sometimes when I go back and I look at it, I'm like, oh my God, this is beautiful, actually.
Isn't it? Isn't it beautiful?
Yeah, it is.
I would, that's how I would describe it, right? I mean, it can be terrifying at times, but also beautiful, right? Because we're finding ourselves, we are, experiencing ourselves. Like you said, we're finding out what our limits are, what we're capable of, what's it's empowering.
Yeah, it is.
Right.
It is empowering itself, right? So the journey, it is different for every person, but at the end, there is this reward.
Exactly. Well, it's never the end. It's not finished
It's never
yet.
the end. I'm not at the end. No, also, yeah. It's true. It's true.
True, right? Because I don't know next year, things have changed. Listen, when I started this journey, I never for a minute thought I would be hosting a podcast. I knew I was going to be a teacher. I didn't know that I was going to be a life coach. But I knew, but the teaching was the stepping stones, was the foundational steps I needed to speak in front of people, to speak in groups, to teach and mentor. And, and that was my foundation, but I didn't know at the time. I just knew that was the right thing for me to do.
Yeah, and you see that also shows like what we are talking today about, that sometimes you don't know what are the steps to get you there.
Yeah. So that's why you need somebody in your corner. You need you need to get a coach. You landed a coach immediately, didn't you?
Yeah, for me, it's really like, I think without this, I would never dare, because it was a little bit like he was asking me questions, I was answering, then I was like traveling to checking Amsterdam, checking Florence, and all of a sudden I was just moving out.
Yeah.
You always need to have the support. So like you say, community.
Yeah.
Or people supporting you. I think because I had a coach, I did made a decision in 3 months. Didn't take me longer.
Yeah. Well, that's what I do.
My
3-month program is just all about making giving you the foundational steps to support you on whatever lies next. It's the foundational steps that you need. Because as a coach, we don't have the answers, right? We don't. You have the answers. It's about unlocking what's in you, right? What's special about you? What's unique about you? What lights you up? What's your spark? And you need that time just to figure out and start putting you first, drown out the noise of the world, focus on you, and the answers will come, right? Which you found, right? Which is amazing. So what's one piece of advice you wish you'd gotten earlier on your journey?
Oh, I think I don't wish any advice. I think everything went like it was. I think everything was on time. I think it just went as it should be. I think it was good timing. I think sometimes it just time, from the perspective, I feel everything went as it should be.
Okay. Yeah, just trust in the journey.
Yeah, and just follow your heart.
Yeah, yeah. So what advice would you give to women then, who are just starting to go through this and think, I want more. I don't want to be here. I want more, right? But they want to pursue their dreams. They're maybe lacking confidence. What advice would you give them?
Yeah, I think accept being not comfortable. It's not only stepping out of comfort zone, but also enjoying being uncomfortable. I feel like world is changing so fast nowadays that this change is really crucial, and it pulls us out of discomfort anyway. So why not to create your life?
I think with social media, the world has just got even noisier. The world is just a mess at the moment. What's true, what's false for me? Somebody might say, oh, that's true for you. Another person might say, no, that's not right for you. Or this is the way, follow this. And it's just like, there's so much noise in the world now. I feel that maybe we didn't have that. Maybe we were fortunate we didn't have that when we were making those changes. We had noise, but not so much. And I think now it's really important to find your tribe of people and you know, and get their advice, or find your coach and get the advice from them, right?
Yeah.
Very good. Amazing, amazing. Well, that's the end of our episode today. A million thanks to Bea for joining me today, and thanks to our audience for hanging out with us. We hope you found it inspiring and empowering. And for more information about either of us, you can find us on Facebook, you can find us on Instagram, Spotify, and there'll also be details in all of the videos and posts. So from us to you.
Super. Bye.
Ciao, and thank you again for joining us. Finished.
Okay, so